Halloween night, Deer Park, Texas, 1974. A man takes his 2 kids and their friend out trick-or-treating. Upon the family returning home, they unwind and ready for bed. The man's son approaches him and asks if he can have some candy before bed. So his father, being, a father, probably didn't want to deal with, an argument or whatever, said, Of course, take it. So the son reaches in his bag and he pulls out a Pixy Stick. He has trouble opening it at first, and so his father helps. The son says it tastes funny, so his dad makes him some Kool-Aid to wash it down. Moments later, the son becomes sick, starts vomiting, convulsing, and then he goes limp in his father's arms. So as the son is rushed to the hospital, he unfortunately passes away. News began to spread in the community, and of course fears rose. The townspeople turned in all their candy, and they were fearing it was poisoned. So an autopsy was conducted on the son. The Pixy Stick in the boy's system was laced with potassium cyanide. All 5 Pixy Stix were rounded up, but 1. Parents who had the last one were terrified when they couldn't locate it. They stormed to their kid's room and found their son asleep, holding on to it. The son couldn't get the staple open, so he wasn't able to consume it. So upon examination of the Pixy Stick, it was determined that all the manufacturer's seals were broken, and the top 2 inches of the sticks were replaced by cyanide powder. Packages were then resealed by a staple by someone, we don't know who yet. Further tests revealed the child that passed away consumed enough cyanide to kill 2 adults. The other sticks had enough to kill 3 to 4 adults.
Whoa.
The police questioned the father of the deceased child where they got the sticks from. The father had no memory, but took the police on a walk of the neighborhood. He led them down to a house that didn't answer the door that night. No lights were on. The kids gave up after they rang the bell and went on, but the father stayed behind. He claimed that the owner of the home cracked open the door eventually and handed the father 5 Pixy Stix. The homeowner was a man by the look of his hairy arm, claimed the father. That's all he could see. That man was identified as Courtney Melvin, an air traffic controller. He worked late hours and stated he wasn't home Halloween night, and over 200 people backed him up on it. There was now a new suspect by the name of Ronald Clark O'Brien. He was an optician and a deacon. He ran a bus program and sang in the church's choir. By these accounts, he was an upstanding citizen. Upon a close examination, it turned out he visited a chemical supply store in Houston before Halloween that year. Ronald was also a husband and a father. His son, Timothy, had just died from being poisoned by potassium cyanide. Timothy was the boy in the story all along, and Ronald was his father. So Ronald was in serious debt, it was determined, and he had taken out insurance policies on his kids. And so he was found guilty of the murder in 1975. And he still maintained his innocence up until when he was executed by lethal injection in 1984. And after all these crimes, he was known as the Candyman and the man who killed Halloween.
Ooh. Interesting.
So growing up, I mean, of course, Dave, you're from Canada. Did they even do trick-or-treat up there?
No.
Okay. Halloween
Do you guys
up there
get
too?
Christmas? Oh,
No.
No, it's syrup day. I don't know.
Well, fucking Santa lives in Canada.
Do you have, is Halloween up there too?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know this. We always think America
don't know what they think
is
either.
special. We're special.
Yeah,
We have
man.
Salem, right? So,
What's that, Salem?
Do you guys get ice cream?
It grows on trees up there. It's just so
they hand out soap.
like US, you want a US asking Canadian.
Hockey pucks.
You live in igloos?
Do you guys have houses? You live in huts? What do you...
But growing up,
Yes.
Growing up-
All of this.
there was that fear. Pixy Stix, I do remember. Like, every time I went trick-or-treating, we had to dump out the candy and look through it. And any Pixy Stix, my parents, for sure, did not want me eating them. So I had to hand them into that. Now, there was urban legends before this happened. But after this, I'm sure it was even driven further fear into people, like, stay away from Pixy Stix. That's what I was told as a kid. So I don't know if you guys got the same memo on that.
What
or
I
not.
do know about that idea is they've said that not every, but the majority of the deaths that have taken place from kids eating candy on Halloween has always been by someone that was related to them.
Yep.
That's why I was kind of thrown off. Like, oh, was it the guy up the street? That's interesting. And then it led back to the dad.
Right. Exactly.
But, yeah, usually they say it's someone that is close to them, they're already in their family. A dad, a mom, a uncle, an aunt, somebody like that.
Right.
So it's not like far away. It's like someone who can directly get at you.
Right. Right. And
Still pretty fucked up to kill your own kid, though, right?
oh man.
Well, dude, that's some heavy.
I mean, especially he planned it, right? He planned it and sought it out. And he also turned out to be, like, on paper, he looked like a great employee and all that, but he wasn't keeping jobs or anything. So, I mean, he was just a piece of shit, basically. And the fifth kid he gave the candy to, because, yeah, he gave it to his daughter, his son, and their friend. And then, I guess, I don't know, the other two got out, but they're all turned in. But one of the kids I read was actually a member of his church. So he, like, knew that, giving it to him. So what had happened was he stayed back at the house while the kids went on, and he had the Pixy Stix all along. And he came back. The kids like, hey, they answered the door and they gave out Pixy Stix, and here you go. So, yeah, demented. But of course, he maintained his innocence. But
He tried to pin it on the old guy. Sounds like Gargamel.
He's like, you saw that old guy with a hairy arm.
Yeah, he's like, perfect.
Yeah, that hairy arm.
That guy.
yeah, right. What a dipshit.
Gargamel.
Fucking sounds like the monkey paw sticking out of the door and then dropping Pixie.
But the thing is, like, he was gonna kill
like
all his
Lurch,
kids.
right.
He was gonna kill all of his kids. It wasn't just one kid; it was all of them.
He was
Like,
gonna kill all of them?
well, because they each got a Pixie Stick, and Timothy happened to pick out a Pixie Stick, so his father didn't exactly plan for him to eat it. I mean, the father claims Timothy picked the Pixie Stick out, so maybe he picked it out for him. Who knows? But yeah, within an hour, he was sick.
He's like, if any of them gotta go, it's definitely you, Tim.
I mean, imagine that 2 inches of that powder. Like, I mean, you see it in movies all the time. Like, it's real shit. Like, soldiers have. I mean, spies.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
to a kid, bro.
Oh, I know. Especially
Enough to
it had
take out-
enough to take out 2
Enough to
adults.
take out, like, 2 guys, like, your size.
Right.
That's gotta be brutal.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be brutal.
I just remember the Pixie Stick that Josh gave me once. Yeah, I had the shits for days.